Now, I have heard some bad takes in my day, but Whoopi Goldberg is really driving it home with this one. She said on a recent episode of The View that Black people living in America today are just as oppressed as people living in Iran. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Alright guys, before we get into today's episode, please like and subscribe. Now today we're going to be watching a clip from The View. Oh gosh, the ladies on The View. They really know how to get to me on this one. Whoopi Goldberg, as I said, makes a statement about the oppression of Black people and compares it to the lives of people in Iran.
But let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing compared to the United States.
Hanging Black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step foot during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit into Iran.
I'm like glad at least one person is making sense on this entire panel.
I'm sorry.
I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you,
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes,
it is up to them.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good. Whoever does it, it's not good. So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States.
I love how Whoopi Goldberg can look somebody dead in their face and say, you know what, you're not saying what you actually mean. Because what you are actually saying is not my opinion, and therefore you must not be saying what you actually mean. Your views and thoughts must be different because I'm not hearing what I want to hear. Unbelievable.
In 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're Black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're Black.
Guys, don't go to Tehran. Do not anyone at this table should go to Tehran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But yeah, I know that. And we all know that. But every day we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals. And I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either.
Let's pause for a second. If Whoopi Goldberg is able to say this is the greatest country in the world, you are therefore making a judgment as to its positioning when compared to Iran, as to how your life would be when compared to what your life would be like in Iran. So, do you believe what you're saying? No, not if you think this country is the greatest country in the world, which, let's be honest, Whoopi Goldberg doesn't think this country is the greatest country in the world. She's just saying what she thinks she has to say to maintain this level of wokeness on The View. And if you are somebody, I implore you, any Black people listening right now, any people listening right now who are consistently worried that like your kid's going to go out and get shot by a police officer here in the United States on any given day, look up the stats, look up the numbers like that on that. And I hope that I can relieve you of the weight that you are placing on yourself by saying that it's not something that you should be worrying about on any given day of your life. You can actually be relieved of that burden right here, right now. Whoopi is being hyperbolic to the furthest extent possible, especially in comparing the lives of Black people here in the United States to the lives of those who are living in Iran.
They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They cannot property. They cannot leave them.
I'm talking about here.
Nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That is no one's intent. But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way.
All right, that is the clip in question. And honestly, I cannot go over all the ways in which Whoopi is wrong in this video. I'm just going to touch on a few. But just in hearing that, you should know that what she said is incorrect. And I know where this energy comes from because everybody's oppression is equal and valid based on their story, and everything is subjective and relative and yada, yada, yada. And that's where she gets this mindset. But it is really unbelievable to hear some of the stories coming out of Iran and think that as a Black person in America, you are somehow equal when it comes to how oppressed you are here. The very idea that Whoopi Goldberg, who is breaking several Iranian laws just by doing what she does on The View every single day, is just as oppressed as the women or anybody in Iran, blows my mind. It's truly unbelievable. But she's had the spot on this show talking her for God knows how long, and she's going to continue to do so. So very briefly, we heard one of the hosts bring up Mahsa Amini. And if you're unfamiliar with the story of Mahsa Amini, it created huge outrage and protest, not only in Iran, but all over the world. Mahsa Amini was killed by morality police in Iran for what? Not wearing her hijab, which hijab laws have been something that have oppressed women in Iran for quite some time now. And to lose your life for not having a hijab on is absolutely insane. But Whoopi Goldberg says Black people are just as oppressed as people in Iran. If that story is not enough for you, take a look at this photo. All of these women were blinded by the Islamic regime in Iran for doing what? Advocating for women's rights, which is something that Whoopi Goldberg gets to do on her show all the time without being penalized whatsoever. So maybe Whoopi Goldberg should be able to have somewhat of a frame of reference for her own oppression in this country and the oppression of other Black people. What about a story of an Iranian woman who was arrested for making a protest? And that protest was going out in her undergarments in public, where American women can run around in whatever it is that they want to wear. Here in LA, you could practically be naked in the street without being arrested. Iranian women are getting arrested for a form of protest in wearing their undergarments, to say we should be able to remove clothing or wear whatever it is that we want without being detained by the Islamic regime or the morality police. And if you want some more information about where women stand in Iran, at the very least, Iran is ranked 116th out of 153 countries in terms of the legal discrimination against women. And if you want to get out of Iran, let's say, and you're married, Iran forbids women from traveling without the consent of her husband. Literally cannot leave the country without asking her husband whether or not she is able to do so. Now, this is just the rights of women that we're touching on, as this would pertain to Whoopi if she was living in Iran and experiencing the full oppression of what it means to be her in that country. But I guess Whoopi is also queer. Homosexuality is illegal in Iran. And we saw a couple of the hosts try to bring up how homosexuality is illegal in that country and how gay people are thrown off of buildings. And Whoopi did the old la, 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 don't want to hear about that, because historically Black people have been lynched here in the United States, which in no way compares to the modern day oppression of people living in Iran. Of course, I could go on and list all the different ways in which Whoopi's life is different here than to what it would be in Iran. But I rest my case, and I think people get it. So I'm asking myself, why doesn't Whoopi Goldberg get it? And it's because we're taught, I guess, that the oppression that we face is the most important thing about us, that our identity and the hierarchy of our identities and where they sit based on intersectional calculations is the most important thing about us. And because that is so important to Whoopi Goldberg, and because that is so much of who she is as an individual, as a woman, as a queer person, she can't possibly fathom that somebody could be going through more than she does, more than Black people do, more than she does as a Black woman here in America. So when we bring up the oppression and the plight of, I don't know, gay people in Iran or women in Iran, it's just not clicking. What's not clicking, Stephen? There's such a distinct level of narcissism in her statement. To hear stories like this and to not only shut them out, but to shut them down and say what she's experiencing is the same. And when we look into narcissistic beliefs, we'll find that they are driven by insecurity. So I think deep down, Whoopi is insecure about the oppression that she believes she faces in this country. And she must hyperbolize it and drum it up and say it's the same as people living in Iran in order to feel justified in her reaction politically to everything that happens in this country. And the way that she stands on her little soapbox and screams at US citizens all day long about her oppression and her plight and the hard things that she has to deal with as a Black person in America. Well, newsflash, Whoopi Goldberg, your life may be so hard. Your millionaire life, where I believe she's paid like $8 million a year to sit on The View and yap about her oppression. That life must be really, really, really difficult. But speak to one individual woman who is fighting for her rights in Iran, or who has tried, okay, and has been completely attacked by her nation and by the Islamic regime, and then tell her that your oppression is the same. Tell her that your lives are the same. Tell her that your plights and the struggles and the burdens that you have to deal with are the same. And please do it live on The View, Whoopi. That's what I ask of you right here, right now. I hope this message gets to you, and I hope you follow through on it. Guys, those are my thoughts on the Whoopi clip on The View. Guys, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And leave other ways in which Whoopi's life is different from a person living in Iran. Go crazy, because I kept the list quite short. And hopefully, we will find a newfound perspective for Whoopi Goldberg, because I have a newfound perspective on her, and it's not good. Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you disagree with anything said in this video, I don't know how you could. This one's pretty straightforward, guys, but drop it in the comments down below. I encourage healthy debate on this channel, so let's keep it respectful. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is just about every day. And I will see you guys next time. Whew, Whoopi.